All right, so we're just
All
gonna
right.
do it as we
Yeah,
go on.
we'll just fucking do it. Yeah, we
All right, cool.
got this.
Hell
All right,
yeah.
I'll start out. Vriska, I believe.
Wait, I think that's Brissy.
Oh, is it Vrissy?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, shit.
It's
Yeah, I think you're right.
parentheses
Okay,
Vriska,
cool.
which is
Yes.
pretty,
Yeah. Question mark is Vrissy. All right, cool.
Harry Anderson, Tavros, come up here.
A young troll girl crawls out of the wreckage, a spry and wiry thing. Her hair is roughly chopped short, and she's dressed in flashy, youthful attire. But you recognize that face and those horns anywhere.
Vriska?
Or maybe not Vriska, because the other Vriska beat her to the punch at being the first Vriska in this universe, so it would be more appropriate to say parentheses Vriska, you guess.
Mom?
Mom? What?
Parentheses Vriska straightens her back and approaches all of you, sparing a strangely shy glance for Calliope. Looking at her more closely, you can see that she can't be any older than maybe 16 or so. It's the same age your Vriska vanished at, but this parentheses Vriska seems even younger somehow. Her face lacks the harshness that she carries herself without any of the trauma inherent in growing up on Alternia. It's strange in that uncanny, discomfort kind of way.
Well, Dave, Uncle John, Aunt Jade, you all seem so young and cool.
Rose, what the fuck is she on about?
Right. You all wouldn't know about the other timeline.
Your Vriska makes herself known again, walking up to parentheses Vriska with a steady swagger. You also don't fail to notice the way she has Terezi's hand clasped firmly in her own. For a moment you consider if that's somehow, weird, given that from your perspective Vriska's been gone for just over 7 years, while the rest of you have continued to grow and change. But come to think of it, you also aren't sure on just how old Terezi is either. Who knows? Maybe the weird way time works in the furthest ring exerted itself on the two just enough to make sure any potential relationships are 100% above board. Like, they both clearly seem older than parentheses Vriska here, at least. God, this is comfortable. You tune out your own personal inner Vrisk course and return to focus the conversation at hand.
Basically, in this timeline, John never went back to fight Lord English, so the whole thing took a pretty steep nosedive into non-canon irrelevance. You all got straight married and had kids and grew old, except for Rose and Kanaya, who remained lesbian married and also raised the literal clone of myself instead of giving birth to some new character. They got old as well, though.
Wait, what are you...
You see pins of sweat breaking out on Dave's face. I guess for someone like him, the idea of an alternate reality where everyone couples up with the opposite gender and has babies together would be pretty horrifying to consider. To be honest, you're also feeling a little weirded out by the concept.
Oh, and some weird war because apparently Jane became a fascist.
What?
If you ask me, it was a lot of arbitrary and dumb. Like, if some sick fuck decided to drop the worst possible versions of everyone into one reality, that's what I need you to picture.
Rose frowns.
So Dirk was right, sort of. It really was a choice between infinite growth and decaying stalemate of heteronormativity. Break the old order or drown in it. Hey, our timeline wasn't that bad. Okay, the Crocker dictatorship was sorta terrible, but there was some good times too.
Fine. I have to admit, you kids are pretty cool yourselves.
Seeing Vriska and parentheses Vriska stand side by side helps you further contextualize parentheses Vriska. In a way, everything about her can be stilled down to Vriska, but if she was born 10 years later and raised with less sucky values, considering all of this is making your head spin only a little.
I sure hope so. We can't be true game players if we don't have that cool factor. And given the state of my co-players, I need all the coolness I can get. Lol.
As if on cue, two more kids emerge from the ship. One of them is a short, thin boy with wide, nervous eyes, who seems more than a little malnourished. His feet clang against the metal floor and he flinches. The other is a slightly more put-together young man with messy blonde hair and bright blue eyes. There's a goofy smile on his face that reminds you a little of...
Tell me that's not...
He looks at both you and Roxy with raised eyebrows.
Whoa. Mom? Dad?
Obviously not, Harry Anderson. Or kinda yeah, actually. Alt universe versions of them, if we're being accurate.
Harry Anderson stands before you. Your stomach flips, and not in a good way.
Mom, you look different? Oh, fuck, I voiced both of them. Great, fuck.
Nah, you're good.
Oh, and this is Meet Roxy, too. Haha, yeah, well,
Roxy looks uncomfortable as shit at this interaction. You yourself are pointedly trying not to think about the fact that apparently in some timeline, you and Roxy, but Roxy's not even a girl, or you suppose he still has the working parts to hypothetically birth a child, but given that you're not enjoying the feelings you're feeling.
You kind of remind me of Uncle Dave if he wasn't such a sad loser. I mean, I'm a totally different person from your mom, kid. Like, holding versions of us to Sanders set in one reality would be hella reductive and all, so... God, fuck, I'm just trying to say...
Harry Anderson's eyes go wide in bewilderment at the verbal knots Roxy's tying himself into.
What are you saying?
God, Harry Anderson, they're clearly not cis and trying to not make you feel weird because they're literally genetically the same person as your mom.
Oh, Don't sweat it, seriously. I'm just the cool guy version of your mom, kinda. Sorry, it's just that you look totally different here. I'm trying not to be bugged out too much. At least Dad kinda looks the same if Dad wasn't middle-aged and majorly depressed.
You hate literally everything about this series of events. These kids are doing nothing but giving you an existential crisis. Like, that's your son, technically? What the fuck? Trying to distract yourself, you glance out across the room to see Jake and Jane similarly confronted by the other young boy.
So you're saying Jade and I had a son together, and we named him Tavros after a dead troll?
Pretty much, yeah. And there was Uncle Gamzee, too. He was Mother's personal clown consort. Until he tried to cancel her.
Gamzee? As in that smelly clown who's locked in a fridge for his own good? That Gamzee?
Avros winces terribly. You decide you've heard enough of that train wreck. Harry Anderson clearly also overheard that and looks at you a little apologetically, as if he's ashamed to come from such a timeline, which you suppose is probably the healthiest response to all that.
Anyway, all that's behind us now. Thanks to Calliope here, we're gonna go make a whole new universe instead. Thank God. We'll be heroes and everything. To be honest, I'll miss my folks a little, but this is pretty important. And besides, it's not like I'll never see them again or anything.
You think back to your own miserable stint with Suburb and decide you don't really want to burst this kid's bubble just yet.
Your folks,
There's something on Roxy's face, something that not even his inscrutable aura can conceal.
Hey, kid, I'm just wondering, and I'm sorry if this is a kind of odd question, but as parents, how well did we do? Well,
Harry Anderson can't meet Roxy's eyes.
Oh god, we fucked up, didn't we?
Roxy looks at you, but all you can do is shrug. You really don't want to consider your alternate universe parental self and all the myriad ways you can and probably did fail.
For a good decade or so after the divorce, yeah. Mom didn't want to make a political enemy of Auntie Jane, so she kinda let herself fall into the background, and Dad, he...
You close your eyes and swallow. The person being discussed is literally not you, but there's a ball forming in your chest that makes you want to scream.
We made up in the end before I left on the space trip mission and all. So it's not too bad. Look here.
Harry Anderson fishes in his jacket pocket and pulls out his smartphone. On the lock screen is what appears to be a family selfie. Harry Anderson is in the middle, smiling wide enough to show off his buck-toothed grin. To the left is his mom, who really does look like what you'd imagine a middle-aged woman version of Roxy to be. Her hair is cut in that stereotypical mom bob, and her face is streaked with a few wrinkles that tell of an emotionally complex life. But mostly, she seems happy. To the right...
Wow, that's mad disconcerting to see. Like, it's mad cute, but also literally some of this version of me could never be. LMAO, no offense. We made a nice looking family though, I guess? What do you think, John? Pretty fucked up, right?
You find your eyes pointedly avoiding the other figure in the frame. A chill runs down your spine, your palms go slick, and your mouth goes dry. What's the problem here? It's just a picture of you, but 20 years older. It's not even technically you. Why the fuck are you so scared to look at it? Ignoring the way puking suddenly feels like a really good idea, you force yourself to take in the other figure, the other you, and you...
Wow, that's me. That's really what old me looks like.
You don't know which part is making your head spin in a really dangerous way. The broad shoulders, the tall, imposing stature, the facial scruff? That's not... can't be.
Not real.
That's a whole adult capital M man, a father who's grown into his masculinity in parenthood. It's what you expected, what you feared. What? What are you even saying right now? The room is spinning. God, the room is spinning, and you feel so scared and ill, and what is happening? What is happening to you? Are you having a panic attack? Why are you having a panic attack? Why are you...
It's not. I'm not that I.
Whose line is this?
Looks like it's Vriska color.
Oh, is
That's not a Vriska blue.
I don't know who that is.
Is that like when June transitions, did she get a new color?
Oh, like a June. Okay.
Dang it.
You don't see yourself in the man you're looking at. Like you know he's meant to be you, and he's a person you could become under the right circumstances. But it's the fact that he is you, and you'll... And... okay, you're not in your body right now. You're floating above it, and... Oh, okay. Your eyes are going blurry, and you don't know what literally any of this means. You're just freaking out over older you for no reason at all. God, this is stupid. You're stupid. What's going on here? What?
You doing okay?
Roxy puts a hand on your shoulder. It has an immediate grounding effect. You return to your regular levels of disconnect from your body, and more importantly, and you can breathe again.
Sorry, I just still feeling a little off from being revived, you know?
Okay, just give some warning next time, dude. I think you scared our alt self kid almost half to death.
Oops. Harry Anderson looks at you with serious concern, like he's making connections between you and his father, and okay, not thinking about that one again.
No, it's cool. I literally come from reality where a cake baroness is orchestrating the genocide of trolls. I've seen more fucked up shit. Just take it easy, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
Everything about Harry Anderson screams that he wants this conversation to be over with. You share the sentiment wholeheartedly.
Anyway, you don't have to keep talking to us or anything, you know?
Yeah, I know. I was just waiting for my girlfriend to be free. Later.
Harry Anderson quickly scuttles off towards parentheses Vriska, whom he wraps his arms around and kisses rather passionately. It strikes you as more than a little inappropriate, given that they're both in public, and this is alt-used biological son macking on alt Vriska, but they're also literal kids, so you stop paying it attention.
God, this is so weird.
I know.
Roxy turns to look at you.
Hey, you definitely okay?
Yeah, I'm just...
It's just time.
You've never been more thankful to hear a superpowered cherub speak over you in your entire life. Calliope floats into the middle of the room, drawing in all the attention with the effortlessness of... Actually, you're getting a little tired of these constant black hole comparisons. She draws in attention because she has the air of someone who's very important. The end.
Time for what?
My assistants have finished laying the groundwork. They've retroactively seeded this world and primed its inhabitants for what is to come. It is time for the players to join the game. Finally.
She says that with all the cocksure assurance of a true circuit. More and more meteors are streaking down towards the planet, starting to get a little concerned that the ship might actually be at risk of being hit by one. Calliope raises a hand. Next to her, a portal opens up and 3 more figures emerge.
Cain is ready to be executed, my dearest muse.
Calliope remains motionless, but you still get the impression that, on some level, she is face-palming.
Aradia? Holy shit. Hey, Aradia.
Hi, Karkat. Hi, Terezi.
Aradia floats there, light and ageless in her god-tier garbs. It looks like both 1,000,000 years and no time at all have passed since you last saw her. To be honest, I'd written you off for dead, so it is nothing but a pleasant surprise to see you again, Aradia.
Nope, I'm still alive. That's not a thing that's ever going to stop happening or anything.
It's a nice reunion between friends, you guess, but you don't really know Aradia well enough to say anything to her. Instead, you look to the other 2 figures where...
What the actual and literal fuck? Sup?
Davebot emerges from the portal, one hand raised in that trademark Strider style of greeting. Next to him, another familiar shape makes itself apparent.
Hey,
Rose frowns.
but how?
She gestures uselessly to the Rosebot wreckage strewn across the ground.
That's merely the termination point of one instance of myself. When you have attained ultimate awareness, the individual bodies cease to matter. I can manifest whenever and wherever I like.
Rosebot tilts her head.
By the way, you're fucking welcome. I bore this burden, so you don't have to. I guess I just assumed my ascension was actually just more of Dirk's meta-narrative bullshit, to be honest. I guess I'm sorry for killing you? No, you aren't. No, I'm not. It was a metallic prison keeping me from my wife. Given the choice, I would destroy you 100 times over to stay with those I love. Which is why it would be an act of immense violence to bestow you with heightened extra-canonical awareness. What are you even doing here anyway? Helping the cherub to preserve our universe at the transition point between existences? Making sure our audience still gives a shit about us? And what about the other Dave?
No, that's easy if also a long and convoluted story. I got married to Jade because I thought it was, like, the right thing to do. Fell out of touch with Karkat and was depressed for, like, 20 years. Then I met Obama in the middle of a war zone, came out as gay, and got that sick as fuck ultimate self-robot body. By the way, do not kid yourself into thinking you're straight. It doesn't work out in literally any timeline.
Dave's jaw hangs open, and you think you can see an eyelid twitching behind his shades.
Anyway, I'm now part of this cosmic preservation mission because what else is a being of supreme awareness meant to do? No offense, I know this is all important as shit.
None taken, brother.
God, can we just fucking go home? This is a nightmare.
Soon enough. All the pieces are in place.
Calliope raises her wand, this time with an air of extreme gravitas.
Those who are joining me on this mission, stand at my side.
Harry Anderson, Tavros, and parentheses Vriska all walk up to Calliope, their young faces suddenly deadly serious. Rosebot and Davebot follow suit too.
Are you not coming?
Calliope first looks at Vriska, then Aradia, then the other 2 passengers on this weird canonical voyage. Vriska looks up at Calliope. In response, Terezi frowns and squeezes her hand even tighter.
No offense, but I never planned on joining you on your weird cross-universe birthing mission. I've had enough of that for one lifetime. I just wanted to hitch a free ride home.
I assumed as such. And you?
Now she addresses Aradia, who stands by her old Alternian friends. Aradia's smile is wide, but also a little guilty.
No way, she's coming back with us, right?
Actually,
Aradia floats over to Calliope's side, leaving a trail of red dust.
I'm going along. I've already seen what happens when everything breaks apart. Now I want to see what happens when everything begins anew.
Karkat frowns and bats away at tears before they can properly form.
So, what? That's it? A 5-minute conversation that we're never seeing you again?
Don't say never, Karkat. The way our reality works, well, we'll definitely meet again. In fact, we probably already have.
Karkat throws his arms up in an attempt to conceal a sob.
Fine, I can't stop you. Just, when it's all done, try and come home. You're our friend, Aradia. If Vriska, of all people, can make her way back to us, so can you.
Radia throws her head back in a clear, light laugh. She smiles fondly at Karkat.
I'll miss you too. But this is also exciting. You know I've never been one for a quiet life.
I know. Once a crazy bitch, always a crazy bitch, right?
That's the spirit.
Calliope makes a hard-to-follow motion with her wand and opens up another portal. It glistens and pulsates like an antimatter spirograph, the inverse of the light show of cosmic destruction going on outside.
All that matters is through here. When you are ready. Let's do this.
Parentheses Vriska grabs Harry Anderson and Tavros with a hand each and pulls them through the portal with a battle cry. Ah, the bravado of youth! Rosebot and Davebot silently cross through the threshold next, robot eyes glittering thoughtfully as they vanish. Radia hovers toward the portal, stops, and turns around one last time.
I'll catch you all on the flip side.
And she's gone too. All that's left now is your original ragtag bunch, plus one Vriska, and Calliope herself, but you get the sense she won't be here for long. In fact, even as you watch, she begins to dissolve back into that cloud of dark noise.
What about us? We've all come all the way to the edge of the universe to facilitate events we are only tangentially involved in. Where do we go from here? You are to take advantage of your newfound fan and freedom in whichever way you see fit. Do as you will. Go home. Thrive the knowledge that you can thrive, free of consequences. For your next course of action, I would recommend returning back to Earthsea and starting from there. Deal with your problems. Make a life worth living. Become who you always wanted to become. Maybe even have fun.
The cloud once again wraps around the dead Jade, and the body starts floating again. There's still something so incredibly unsettling about seeing your sister's corpse being used as a vessel for a higher power.
Farewell.
Calliope's eyes glow with darkness, and she floats slowly and deliberately into the maw of the black hole portal. It flickers and pulsates once, twice, then it fades into nothing. We are all left standing there in the destroyed wreckage of the ship, illuminated by the flashing streaks of Skyan meteorites that soundlessly whistle by. Everything suddenly feels so quiet, so empty. Dirk starts to stir now that Calliope is gone. You suppose she was keeping him subdued until you were all truly and finally robbed of your status as canonical beings. He looks pale and deflated, and also like he was beaten half to death a short while back.
What? Why can't I?
You were outplayed. The cherub won. We are now consigned to an existence of even more dubious relevance. Game over, father dearest.
Dirk's eyes shoot wide open as he stands to his feet. They're bloodshot, and also literally blood-stained. The guy looks like he needs a shower.
My head's so quiet. I can't hear it. I can't hear anything. Anywhere.
He seems incredibly shaken by this revelation.
All of it just stops.
Dirk then notices his friends, looking at him with various combinations of admonishment and outrage.
Yeah, I've really fucked up here, haven't I? Earned myself a one-way ticket straight to gay baby jail. Gonna be one hell of a mess to sort out when
He teeters back and forth on his feet for a few seconds, then his eyes roll into the back of his head. He's passed the fuck out before he even hits the floor.
Now what?
I guess we do like Callie said and go home.
On for over 6 months? I dread to think what the state of affairs on Earthsea will be like upon our return.
Or, hear me out, couldn't we just get John to retcon jump us back to the day we left?
Oh, I didn't think of that one.
I thought it was an incredibly obvious solution, personally. Take us home, John.
I guess.
You flex your hands. You think you could still do the retcon thing, but you're a little worried about how they'll work out, and you're not feeling quite like yourself.
We need a place and a time first, though.
Right. You departed after Dirk about a month or so following your own disappearance. I would put that at around 25th of May by your calendar.
We left from Jane's hangar in the human kingdom, so I advise against popping back there in case our estimations are a smidge off. There's a landing strip by my old house in the consort kingdom if we want to aim for there.
Got it.
You nod, reaching out tentatively with your powers. Yeah, you can hop back there, only...
I can't transfer all of us at once. I need to be touching whatever I retcon, and I think there's too many of us to do another hand-holding circle.
No, what now?
Doesn't matter. I just need to think of some way to get us all moving together.
Ooh, I can help. Jade teleports across the room to stand uncomfortably close in front of you. Her ears are perked up and her eyes are wide. I can hold the whole ship with my space powers, so if I touch you while doing that, it's basically the same as you grabbing everyone, right?
I guess that'll work. It sounds like it should at least. Thanks, Jade.
Arf! With a friendly bark, Jade runs a hand that begins to glow with a green outline. The ship and all your friends begin to similarly glow too. Jade's jaws clenched with the effort.
Oof. Got it. I can't hold all this for long, so make it quick. On it.
You place the idea of Jake's old house 1 month from your mission firmly in your mind's eye and take Jade's other hand. It's warm and tingles with static electricity. You take a deep breath and unfurl your power. Calliope's final parting words. Make a life worth living. Become who you want to become. Echo around in your thoughts. That's what gives you the final push to make the jump. There's a sound on the atomic level, almost like a deep exhalation of a sigh, as you lead all your friends out of the confines of canon and into the uncharted, infinite crucible of all else that exists.
Alrighty.
Nice.
Dramatic.
I like that.
Conclusive.
Mm-hmm. And that's the end of the first arc of that story. Then we start the next arc.
Exciting.
Mm-hmm.